Internet, this is Lord Mad Dog, and we are playing From the Depths. Today we're going to build a new ship. I'm going to call it the Splasher. The object of this ship, we're going to jump and start right on. The object of this ship, as I start to build out here, is to start out the Gaul campaign with pretty much the same, I'm not sure how you would say that, Gaul, with pretty much the same what is it called? The same rules and regulations I try to do with the Nether campaign. This one I think we're going to get a lot farther. It's going to be a lot more fun than we did with the Nether campaign. Also, with this ship, I'm going to use the sheen look. Last time for the Ark, if you watched my Ark one, I used the step down, which created a unsmoothed edge. This one I am going to create a very smooth edge all the way to the bottom. So if you watch here, you'll learn how to do that for a boat shape. It's pretty much the same for all boats, bigger, longer. This pretty much works if you're going to build a boat. Well, you can even use it for other things too. So you see there, right now I am using the triangle one pace, and then I'm going to use a two pace and two-pace square block and the two-pace triangle and a three-pace square block and a four-pace triangle. Because this now you would normally do maybe two or four. I would probably be more like 4, 3, 3, 2 or something. So you start with the 4 block, you get smaller by go down, and that's you would create that one. But like I said. Here, I'm not quite sure how to continue to go on with the bottom because I was having a slight problem, but I figured it out. I just have to, reset the lengths there, and actually I didn't have the right length set. This needs to be a 2-piece instead of a 1-piece because we worked our way back to that far. So yes, so when you work back, the first ones are going to be the small ones on the way there, and then bigger on the way out. As you can see me just continuously pushing these little pieces in there like this, making the front of the boat. Now, as I was saying, if you're going to make a bigger boat, you start out with more number 4 slopes to begin with, and then you work your way back. So right there at the end now, I'm just using all number 4 slopes because I started out with one number 4. But we also are trying to make this rather small because there's a 3,000 limit, size limit, volume limit for the Gaul campaign. I'm not quite sure, like I said, I'm not quite sure how you would say that. So now, I've also created the sides. And I'm going to go ahead and copy this. I'm going to copy the length of it. So you see there's 4, I used a 4 wood blocks thing and then a 4 wood piece. Slope, 4 wood slope, and you want to use as many 4 pieces as you can. And here I was thinking about going really high and making it really deep, but afterwards looking at it I decided no, I only want to go too high because otherwise I won't have enough volume for other stuff. So once again, I'm going to copy, and I'm going to go ahead and take this piece, this junction right here, the 4 piece, and I'm going to just copy that and extend my boat to where the length I think I'm going to want it. I will probably well actually, because this is post-processing, I do come back and I do shorten the boat later on off screen because it turns out that I don't have enough mass. I'm going to copy the front end, flip it around, and paste it there. Volume left for what I want to do. So now the basic shape of our boat is worked out. Now, the problem with this boat is because I'm trying to build it small. I didn't start out large enough in the top. Right now, you got to put lead in the bottom for your keel. Otherwise, your boat will just flip over at any slight provocation. So you want your bottom of your boat to be heavier. As you see, it floats perfectly well. This is really awesome. Here I'm going to add a little bit of decoration in the front. Not much because I don't have the volume for it. Just I want to make it look slightly nicer than what it is. Right now it's just kind of ugly. Right there. That's good. Okay. So What was I saying before that? I don't remember. Okay, yeah. This is not a wide boat. It needs to be a much wider boat normally. Otherwise, you're going to tip to the left or right, and you're going to flip over. So I will fix that later on, and I'll show you that. Now I'm messing sails for the first time. I've never used sails, and I don't think I'm going to show you why I'm messing with them. In fact, I am not entirely pleased with the way sails work. They are not reliable. Also, I found out I wanted to go all non-powered, but with the Gal, whatever, campaign, you have to have power because you have to power the Hearthstone. So if I'm going to have an engine in it, I might as well go ahead and put some runners on it. That's just how I felt. So when I found out you have to have a Hearthstone, then you have to have a power to power your Hearthstone, yeah, it was just a no-brainer. So I do go eventually not going all out with sailboats. I do have a sail on my end product. So here I have put my sailboat on a spinner, because I was reading online that's a better way to do it. Put your sailboat on put it on a spin block. But then if you get too high, like I said, you're gonna flip, and that's where I keep on problem with here. However, I'm rolling. So I'm gonna solve that problem somewhat by putting air pumps in, which will keep. I didn't need to put that many in. I think I only needed one for this size. But see, now I'm not rocking near as much. But I do know if I'm going to shoot any weapons off of this, I'm going to rock. It's actually, I'm hitting a nice speed, a good 20 ms in water. From my experience, is actually pretty good. Now, but like I said, I also know that I'm going to keep on flipping over. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build pontoons. I think they're called pontoons. I don't remember what they're exactly called. I'm always calling them pontoons, or just basically outsets that will balance the boat but not cost too much mass or volume or resources. I do have to end up, I do have them slightly too much costing when I make them look real nice, so I have to go back and hollow them out. Yeah, of course, that makes sense to hollow them out. And then you could even put one of these in there, the little boat thingies. So I am going to go ahead and shape out these pontoons and make them really nice looking. Because that's what I want. I want this boat to look really nice. At the time, I didn't realize how hard the beginning opening area of Gal, the campaign I'm going to try to do, really is, because I'm starting with nothing but wood and a cram cannon, and engines, and sails, of course, and some hydrofoils. That's a lot, actually. That's not actually that much. Because someone said that for my last campaign, I started out with simple weapons. They said, well, simple weapons are overpowered. That makes it way too easy on you. You should use cram cannons. So, okay, whatever. I don't agree that it was too easy to use the simple weapons. But yes, simple weapons do a little bit more damage than I would actually believe them to do. But with the Gal campaign, unlike the Deepwater Guard, they're all heavily armored. So it wouldn't have done it. I would have to probably change. I probably would have had not been able to really use simple weapons anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and use a cram cannon setup on this, because that's what you would normally begin with, a cram cannon. I guess is pretty much the first weapon you get. It is, well, they don't actually have levels anymore in this game. There used to be, you started out with just regular cannons, but now cannons are gone. They've been removed from the game. And then you started out with cram cannons, and then they removed, no, actually they removed the requirements before they put cram cannons in. So, yeah, you start out with everything now from the very beginning. But there are some things hidden for more advanced players. And I think, yeah, railguns are hidden for more advanced players. That's one of the things that's hidden. And I'm just going to go ahead and shape out this very beginning here. I had to pause it there for a sec. Something came up. All right, so as I was saying, I'm just shaping out the front here. I want to make it look as nice as possible. And actually, well, it really depends on how you want to build. You can build for more aesthetic pleasure or make it practical. In this case, I probably should have gone for more practicality than instead of aesthetics, because even though I work a lot of time on this boat, it can barely be the beginning. At least I'm hoping it can be the beginning of the Gaul campaign. So here I'm just messing a little bit more with sails. I'm refining it, making it go up and down. I didn't realize that I had the one thing set a little different than I did. That's why I was kept on messing with that. I have to actually push T because I have it already set. The wrench set. I already have the wench. I'm not sure how you say that. I'm trying to figure out why it won't go up, and it won't go up because I already have it have the throttle down on it. So I have to push the throttle up. That's why it wouldn't go down. Couldn't come back up. So here, now sailboats seem like they're really cool, but they're completely unreliable because it doesn't make any sense. No matter how long I messed with the mechanics, I could not figure them out. I read the tutorial, I read it, I even put little wind sail things on my boat so I could see which way the wind was going, but because it's actually on a spin block, I can't see which way the wind is affecting it, so it kind of really becomes, yeah, they're kind of annoying. Here I'm putting hydrofoils because my front end is being pushed down into the water because of the hydro, and I'm hitting a good 25 meters per second, but the instant I turn, well, into wind or something, and I lose all that speed instantaneously. And so I wish I could keep that nice, good speed of 24 meters per second. That would have been really nice. But I end up being, in the end, with more 13, 15 like meters per second, which is actually, I really would have liked a lot higher speed, because we got to rely mostly on speed because we don't have any armor. If something hits us in the next campaign, you're going to be gone. Unless you play Deep Water Guard. Man, this thing would probably own, this little splasher will probably own the Deep Water Guard if I was playing against them. Here, just adding a little bit more aesthetic pleasure. So I'm going to copy the front end here. Capture, white prefab, begin capture, white prefab, begin capture. There we are. That's what I was trying to do. And we're going to copy and flip it. And nope, I didn't get the right end. I got to do that again. We got to get both of these, all of that, because it wasn't quite already up to snuff. There we go. Now we got it. Now we'll just put one here. And one here. And we have a really nice looking ship. I'm going to go ahead and pull out the back piece here, fill this in with the side. As I said, eventually I come back and make those hollow. But this is a really nice looking ship, a very good beginning for a sailboat. It's a nice pleasure craft, I think it would be. I have a lot of room on the inside. Oh, sorry, that was my wife sneezing. And I can turn it left and right, but I can not figure out how to make this thing go faster or slower. As you can see, my speed is just abysmal. And I do believe it's time to go in and test out the finished version. I go ahead, add weapons, I shorten it a bit, make it right size for the Gaul campaign. So let's go ahead and check that out. So now this is the final version, well, close to the final version of the Tiny Splasher. As you can see, I have reduced its size dramatically. It's no longer near as long as it was. I did keep the side bolts, but I hollowed them. I more or less ripped out the insides because I needed to, I didn't hollow them completely, I guess. I thought I did, but I needed the volume. So my volume is 29993.85. So right underneath the max cap, which is 3,000. Okay, so let's go ahead and look on the inside of this thing. Here we have the only because I volume and I don't have heavy armor, so the best place to stick these is off the ground. My ammo is off the ground, away from everything, from where it can go. And here I have my lead blocks. I also have one air pump in the back and one air pump in the front. Once again, I have my controls put on the side so I can go ahead and jump out, because it's going to be all about capturing at least one vessel so I can get armor, because I don't know if I can fight 4 battles without any armor. That's going to be hard. What all down here is lead so I don't flip over, and this is my gigantic cram cannon, which is a bit hard to understand. I cannot wait to replace it with an advanced cannon. I cannot stand cram cannons. They're absolutely worthless, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. Okay? Okay, and even though this is cram cannon, should be a really good cram cannon, it just doesn't seem to do as much good as an actual good advanced cannon would with the same size space. And this is my very, very tiny engine. As you can see, it's a 200 power engine. Hey, right there's my exhaust. It's just two really Mr. Efficients put on their heads and connected together, then ejected out. Once again, there's my other fuel pump, and down underneath is my 2 driving propellers, big ones. And here is my sailboat, which is a lot smaller sail than it was, and it is actually non-functional. Well, it'll actually work, and it does spin, but it does not actually add to my overall speed because I could not figure out how to get it to do so. Sadly, I just couldn't figure it out. I just did not get them to work. So let's go ahead and test out the tiny splasher, why don't we? So we are going to be going up against a tank, a mortar, and a brawler. No, not a SAM, mortar, and a brawler. I cannot very well take out. I can take out a tank, but it takes a lot, and I don't want to do that. Oh yes, it does have an AI. I do not like the AI. Here we go. So we are a long-range vessel. We want to try to stay at a long range as possible. The only problem with that is our enemies have shields. Yes! Can you believe that? In the very beginning, your enemies have shields. Yes, and they also have like 20k energy for those shields. So those shields are actually rather powerful. So I had to make my explosive range really big on this cannon, because I don't have flak and I don't have fragments. Actually, I don't think there's any. Well, not fragment. It wouldn't work for it. Fragment rotation wouldn't work very well for this. So I am trying to take out the SAM, I believe I'm shooting at right now. Or is that the brawler? The brawler can be a pain because he just keeps charging straight at you. But it's not too bad. I can take care of the brawler. As you can see, I have these cannons. A cram cannon is pretty good, though. I mean, it is a good cram cannon. It is a 9x9. Yeah, 9x9, 5 or 6 high. I cannot remember which it is. There is the the mortar. And yes, he is a mortar, as you can see. If I get hit by one of those things, I am going to be regretting it. And I'm getting too close. I need to stay at a range. He just took off the back end of my ship. So if I come up against a group like this, I'm hoping I should be okay in the very beginning. I'm not sure, though, what I'll come up against in the very beginning. Because if I come up with a tank, I'm not going to be happy. There's also a bomber, a fighter, and a tank for the first starting faction in the Glau. I don't know. I have no idea how you pronounce that. Oh no, he just almost shot me. The brawler did. The brawler almost shot me head on. As you can see, I don't think I've actually done any damage to any of them yet. And I'm sorry for the little bit of noise in the background. My wife is cooking. If it's making noise, I don't know what I can do about it. Maybe it's not too... Oh, I was not watching what I was doing, and I got a solid hit from the brawler. And I took out one of my sides of my cannon. That's why you have 2 cannons. Oh, shoot. Now he's getting too close, And I am. Oh, he hit me again. I'm not being able to take any damage to him because he's got a really good shield in the front. Got good shield, actual shields, as you can see, and a really good cannon as well. That really sucks. I've got to stay away from him and continuously pound at him. Hopefully I get lucky to kick out his gun. But no, I'm not getting lucky because I do not have enough speed to outrun him. And I do not have a way to get on the corner of him because I do not have the engine. If I had jet engines, man, I would put them all over this thing. I would get rid of them stupid propellers because they just are not worthwhile. Jet engines, much better, even for a boat. This guy is heavily shielded. Heavily shielded. But now I've actually outmaneuvered him a bit. A bit. Just a bit. That's a tiny bit. And I am being able to get damage into the side of his ship. Hopefully I can hit his engine. If I can hit his engine, he will be out of play. It'll take a lot longer to actually get him to be considered dead. 2 damage to continue. Here we go. We have almost sunk the Brawler. Yes. Very good. At this point, I would actually leave the Brawler so I could try to capture him later. If I'm actually playing the campaign. Because this Brawler is good. The only problem with leaving him, what can happen, if I get too close to the Sam, he will heal. Not the Sam, the... Oh yes, the Sam does too. Actually, I think they all heal each other. They all have healing thingies. And I just took a hit directly from his cannon without, once again, not watching what I'm doing. I need to get out from in front of him. And I need to start shooting at the Sam before I get in range of his missiles. The Brawler once again hits me with a broadside. He is still able he's still able to turn his gun towards me. Stop shooting at me, you! Ooh, yes! I think I finally just took out his main gun. Yes, he is now 2 damage to continue. Well, and here comes the missiles from the Sam. And, can I hit the Sam from this range? I believe I can. I should be able to. And yes, I do have repair units in this ship, because otherwise I'll be absolutely, utterly, and totally obliterated when I first try to fight these guys. Because just the tiniest bit of damage, because they have simple weapons. And those simple weapons can eat wood to shreds. And I mean, they can tear me to shreds. And they're pretty accurate. And I think I'm getting pretty good here. I think I've almost downed the Sam. I cannot tell. It's getting dark. I do believe he is... Oh, nope, he shot some missiles. Thankfully, those missiles are not too powerful, and I can use my worthless side pieces to go ahead and take some of that damage. If I get maneuver correctly. And it should have silenced him already at this point. I'm pretty sure I should have silenced him. Oh no! The mortar is still alive! I did not expect that. I was hitting the mortar pretty good, I thought. I do not understand how the Sam still has missiles to shoot at me. He is underwater! Stop shooting, you! There comes one shot from the mortar. Here, I'm going to directly get in range to actually shoot its missiles. All these things are very well designed. I mean, really well designed. With the front end being pretty much the only thing you can actually hit. There we go. 2 damaged. Now, we're going to just go ahead and mosey on over here to the Sam. And just punch it a couple times to make for good measure. And at this point, I would definitely try to capture the Sam. Because, you know, I need that armor. Alright, so let's go ahead and take off its ability to turn. There, we just blew off its turning ability. And let's go ahead and just finish it off for the end of this presentation. So the Splasher, ladies and gentlemen, it is a very small, but not actually that cheap vessel. It actually costs 20K because the cram cannon pieces are not cheap. If I would suggest by any means, that was stupid, me charging straight into the actual cannon there. If you're trying to go for a cheaper vessel, I would suggest not to use a cram cannon. I would suggest to use an advanced cannon because you can make a small, very cheap, very effective cram cannon. Yes. And sinking. Well, you're going down, buddy. And if you're wondering, yes, that mod below 70% health and sinking is that instead of 80% is a mod. It is Protect's tools. I love Protect tools. Protect, I think it is. He is actually a dev in the game now. He's been elected. I think the author of it is in the game. So a lot of the features that are in the mod will eventually be in the game. So that's pretty cool. At least that's what I understand. I'm not sure. Don't count me on that. I can never guarantee. So, right there is the Splasher. I hope you have enjoyed this little build episode. Yeah. Lord Mad Dog, signing off.